Hey, welcome to the DIY Fidget Spinner YouTube channel, Facebook page, whatever this is posted to. Today I'm going to be making the 3-ball Celtic spinner. This is a fidget spinner that it's a custom design that I put out. So I printed it out, glued it to a piece of 1/4 inch purple heartwood. This is one of my favorite woods to work with. It's a pretty color. So we're going to drill out the center, then we're going to drill out these areas right here to form the spinner, and then we're going to drill out the holes for the ball bearings, and then we will drill out the outside there. So let's get going. So right now I'm using a 22mm bit, and when I drill out the other holes I'll be using a 30mm bit. So what I like to do is, instead of drilling all the way through, not sure if you can see that little divot right there, that's from the brad point, and then I just poke it all the way through with an awl or a nail or something like that. Right? And this way we are not going to get any tear out from the other side. So I'll line that in the brad tip, lower it down. There you go. Start to drill again. And now we're perfectly aligned. And we don't have any tear out on the back end. So clean on both sides. Let's change out that bit to a 30mm. Now the reason I chose a 22mm to begin with was bearings, 608 bearings, which is our skateboard bearings, are 22mm on the outside diameter there. So that will fit right in there snugly. Might need to use a little bit of tape or something on the outside, or a little bit of glue just to hold it in there a little bit more firmly, but 22mm is the best size to use without doing a whole bunch of sanding. Alright, now let's get the 30mm bit in. And I've already made my little divots in here, so I can just kind of align that brad tip in there. And if you notice, the cutting blade will just barely reach on that inside black line right there. And that's what we're looking for. We can always take off some with sanding. Okay, it's just broken through. Let's clamp that baby down so we don't have that chatter anymore. I'm going to use an awl, cut that through. And I'm going to move over before I flip it over. I'm just going to do the next holes here. take my awl, push it through those holes, make sure I got a good guide. There you go, 3 holes on the back side. Clean this off a little bit. Alrighty, it's getting there. Now what we want to do is start drilling out these holes for the weights. So I'm going to clean this off again. And we're going to lower your platform just a little bit. And today we're going to be using, I'm not a huge fan of putting bearings in each one of these. I like using these metal balls. I think it's, spins a little bit better. So, that was lucky. So we're going to use a 17 or a 7/16 inch metal ball as our weights. So I've got a 7/16 drill bit right here. I'm going to put that in. And what I typically like to do is use my jig for this. I'm going to set up my jig, so bear with me here while I get that set up. And what the jig does is it makes sure that I am equidistant on all those weights. So let's set up this jig real quick. I'm going to move the camera out of the way. And what we do is we put a piece of wood on there, and I've got a bearing on there already. And then what we do is we just line it up and clamp her down. Then, without moving the jig, you can just spin it. And you know that it's lined up, even though it may not look lined up, it's lined up. There we go, let's spin it again. Perfect. All right. Looking pretty good so far. Got a little bit of tear out on the back. I'm not too concerned about that because I'm going to be sanding this flat side down, and we'll take care of that. Now let's bring it over to the jigsaw and clean up this outside edge here. Pretty cool so far. Now we're going to bring it over to the belt sander and clean up the edges. I always like to make sure I'm wearing my dust mask, just to make sure I'm not breathing in anything toxic from the wood and tiny little particles of wood. Okay, outside edge is cleaned up. Now we're just going to clean up these inside edges. Here, and here. And for that, I've got these little radial sanders right here. I would typically put this in my drill press, but honestly, these are pretty clean already. I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to do it by hand. There you go. Now let's clean up that face right there. It's a little hot. Okay, so you can see here, we still have a few little splinters. We don't want to rip those off. What we want to do is we want to take a piece of sandpaper and kind of stick your thumb down in there and take them off that way. And this way you'll make sure you don't tear out the wood along the grain there. Okay, much better. Let's clean that up. Notice I am holding it with the direction of the grain with the direction of the belt stander here. Alright, we're almost done this thing. Now what I want to do is do a rough fit. Clean this off a little bit. And we've got a whole bunch of balls here. And we're just going to do a rough fit. Looks like that is a little bit too small, the hole. So we're going to tap that out. And I've got a piece of sandpaper here. And I've cut a hole in or cut a line in a dowel. And we're just going to fold that over like that. Stick that in the hole, twist it around a little bit. You can do this on a drill or drill press. Just put the dowel in the drill. That works good. I'll show you how that works. I would use a very low setting for this. Tucking down your chuck. You want to avoid over sanding if you can. You don't want that ball to go all the way through, or else you'll have to use some glue. I am anti-glue if I can help it. That one needs a little bit more. That one needs a little bit more. That one all need a little bit more. Now for this I am using, I think it's 100 grit sandpaper, so I'd rather take my time on this and do it right and make sure I get a good fit rather than blowing through it and doing it fast with like a 60 grit or something, because then I'll have to definitely glue it in there. And not that I can't glue, just I'd rather take my time and do it right. And the battery's starting to die, so I might be doing the rest by hand. There. That is just about there, I can tell. So let's move over to the 60 grit sandpaper here. I'm just going to roll this in a tube. So I'm in North Carolina and it is hot and sweaty. I'm in my garage right now, my little garage workshop, and man, it is humid. Alright, let's get this in here. It is hot, hot, hot. I'm going to go see if I can't go back to the... Almost there. Alright, I think that one's done. Nope, that one needs a tiny, tiny bit more. That did it. Needs a tiny bit more. Alrighty, looks like we got it. Now let's get a decent bearing here. We've got an amphetamine bearing. It's a little loose in there. Let's get a lot of these bearings are steel bearings, and in this humidity they're just rusting all the time on me. Alright, there's a decent steel bearings. Let's see if we can't get that one to fit. Alright, we're going to doctor that up a little bit. By putting some tape around it. There's a bunch of different ways you can get these bearings to fit in there properly. You can put tape around the outside like I'm doing now. You can also just put a little bit of glue on there. I don't like gluing them in because I like to change out my bearings depending on the type of spinner it is. I don't like using tape either, but I like to get a perfect fit if I can. But sometimes, there you go. Let's cut that off. Kidding me, this stuff is like impossible to cut. There Not bad for a crappy little steel bearing. Pretty good. And it just locked up. There you go. But pretty cool. I like the design. So it took about 26 minutes. And I think we could have done this faster, but still needs a little bit of sanding on the edges and stuff. Still needs a coat of shellac and everything. But overall, 26 minutes to make your own fidget spinner isn't too bad, huh? If you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below. I do read them every day, and I'll be sure to get back to you. If you like the video, please like and share it, and build up this channel so I can do more videos for you guys. I do a live video broadcast on how to make a fidget spinner. I pick a new design typically every Saturday and Sunday. I'll do it and post it up here on the Facebook and the YouTube channel. So subscribe, and this way you'll get the new updates every time they come out. Once this is all done, shellacked and everything, I'll post in an addendum to this video, and just edit the video and re-upload it so you can see what it looks like finalized. All right, guys, make it a great day.